Hello everybody, how have you been doing in the last few weeks? I've been away, but now I'm back for a series of videos that is completely different than anything that I've done so far. So I'm a big football fan, soccer if you are Americans, but I'm a really big fan. I love the game, I love how it's played, so I thought, why don't I do a series of videos analyzing games? And that's what I'm about to do. I hope you enjoyed this new series. It's something completely different that I have done so far, but I think you'll be excited, especially because the World Cup is just around the corner, and I think it will be a lot of fun to analyze those games. There are some very beautiful and talented teams going into the pitch in next June, so I think it will be exciting and fun. So let's do this. But today is not about the World Cup, it's about Europa League. Let's talk about Torino 2014 Europa League Final. So this year's Europa League Final was Sevilla against Benfica, and Sevilla took the trophy home. Even though Benfica was a favorite to win this game, Sevilla held on pretty well when facing Benfica's attacks and ended up winning the Europa League on the penalty shootout. So let's talk about the game specifically. Benfica was the favorite and showed that in the first minutes of the game. A strong team putting pressure on Sevilla's players, and for the first 5 minutes of the game everything was about Benfica. Then Sevilla starts growing on the game, but never with much danger. A few opportunities for each team, but at the end of the first half happened the biggest opportunities for Benfica. A couple of chances led by Maxi and then Rodrigo that found out a very inspired and good goalkeeper Beto. Summing up the first half, a very slow and strategic game by both teams, and at this point neither of the teams really had an upper hand of the game, even though those last two chances from Benfica were really good. But everything changes in the second half. Benfica comes out of the gate strong, taking charge of the game. And once again, Sevilla, after a few minutes, starts growing up in the game and having some chances of their own. Even though chances were hand-to-hand for both teams, Benfica had the more possession and was once again taking charge of the game. Most, if not all, opportunities for Sevilla were born from the talent and inspiration and magic from Rakitic, a very good center midfielder that led the operations for Sevilla. From the minute 70 on, Sevilla keeps falling back and Benfica adds more and more pressure in owning the ball. Possession is all about Benfica at this point. Chance after chance, Benfica goes against a very inspired goalkeeper. Beto was amazing in this game. Actually, for Sevilla, if you analyze the game as a whole, Sevilla had two important players. At the defensive end, Beto making a lot of saves, and the offensive end, Rakitic. But Benfica, through several players like Maxi and Rodrigo and Lima, get chance after chance but is unable to score. One of the downsides for this Benfica was the absence of Enzo Perez, a very creative midfielder that is basically the soul and the construction of the game of Benfica. Andre Gomes, that is a very good player in this game, missed a lot of passes and several times lost the ball, so a very awful game for Andre Gomes. But even with those mistakes from some Benfica players, it's Benfica that is at this point in charge of the game, and I would say probably deserved to have scored the goal even though they couldn't. So at the end of the second half, the game is 0-0 and it's time for extra time. For the next 30 minutes the game falls again into a little bit boring and slow game. Both teams were really afraid to concede a goal, so neither of them were looking to actually score one. Extra time had only a few chances that I should point out. A free kick for Benfica results in an amazing shot from Nico Gaitan, but Beto once again was flawless. The other two more chances were actually for Sevilla. First, a really good pass from once again Rakitic to Baca, but he misses by a little bit the goal. And another in a good combination from Sevilla's players ended up in a shot by Kevin Gameiro that hits the net from the outside, but no goal scored in extra time. Throughout these 30 minutes, Benfica had the ball more often, but actually the best chances were for Sevilla. So after 120 minutes, the game is 0-0, time for a penalty shootout. In the penalties, Benfica players were really nervous, and Beto, with two amazing saves, even though a little bit outside the rules, gave Sevilla the trophy. So overall, Benfica was the best team in the 90 minutes. Neither of the teams were really good in the extra time, and Sevilla actually ends up winning the cup in the penalty shootout, even though Benfica was probably the team that deserved more the cup. So Benfica played better, had maybe 3 penalties that weren't called for him, at least one of them was surely a penalty, but I also think because Benfica was the favorite team for winning the game, they should have played a little bit better, especially since they were able to knock out Juventus and Tottenham, that were really strong teams, and they played really good games against them. And in this game, Sevilla was able to hold them back. And even though the best chances were for Benfica played better. I think they should even had played a little bit more. So now it's time for me to tell you, in my opinion, what was the best player in the pitch. There were several good players for Benfica, especially Rodrigo Lima, but I think the best player is a player from Sevilla, not Rakitic, that was really well. Definitely the best player of the game was Beto. Several difficult saves throughout the game, and in the end saved 2 penalties and gave the trophy to Sevilla. So Beto, congratulations, at least for me you were the man of the match. So I think that's about it about this new series that I'm trying to make. I hope you enjoyed. I also will be making a video about the Champions League final, and if everything goes well, I will be making video analyzing all the games from the World Cup. So subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified whenever I upload those videos. Like this video, as I said, subscribe to my channel, share the video with all your friends, and I think that's about it. My name is Bruno Ferreira, and I'll see you next time.